Hi everyone, so today I'm doing another fairy flower speed paint thing that I did for my final major project at college, and this one is based off of harebells. I'll give you a brief overview of why and how this was done, but if you want to hear the full explanation then you should watch the Love in a Mist video that I posted last week. So these illustrations were done as part of the front of cards. The cards were to encourage people to plant wildflowers and just flowers that will help bees and stuff. So this would be on the front of a card, and then on the back would be handmade recycled paper that has harebell seeds embedded, so you could plant the harebells when gifted this card. I did the line art by doing it digitally with vectors, and then I printed it out on the paper I use for markers. My printer ink is Copic proof, and it's slightly waterproof actually, which is quite cool, but not all are, so if you want to try this, I recommend having a test first, because it doesn't always work, but it works with my printer, and it usually works with the laser printers, not always inkjet, but my inkjet printer works with it. So yeah, so I'm colouring this with Copics, and you can see I've got like references at the side on my phone. But I'm doing a fairy, and she's looking over the harebells to like protect them, because these all have like some kind of social context, and this one's social context is that harebells are said to be fairy flowers and they're protected by fairies. So this is a fairy overlooking the harebells to make sure that they're okay, no humans are trampling on them or anything. The lighting for this video for the camera is fine, but from my perspective it wasn't great because I've left some white bits in the stalks of the flowers. I'll correct that later on, but I left those because of the lighting. It was kind of blown out from the angle I was sitting at. It meant that I couldn't tell between the light green stuff and the just plain white of the paper, so I didn't realise I'd actually left some gaps, so probably gonna have to sort that out. But I got there in the end because I did this across 2 days, so I had like a fresh perspective on it. I didn't really know what to do for the grass texture because we discussed this in my dandelion video. Grass is annoying, so I did like a load of flicky things to represent individual blades of grass and then just coloured it in over the top, so they slightly blended, but you could also see a bit of texture still. I didn't know whether to continue the grass across the whole background, or whether to do a sky, or like a forest in the background, or what, so I was kind of thinking of that as I was filling in the grass area. Kind of neatening up, evening out the texture, and then I decided that I was going to add a few trees in the background, so I didn't outline it or anything because I didn't want them to look like they were in focus. I wanted it to look like you were focusing on the foreground and that was in the background, kind of like when you take a photo and there's a bit of a blur in the background because that's not what you're focused on. So I just started putting those in with my markers. I didn't bother with any outlines, and I didn't really need to because obviously they're not very complex shapes, they're just stalks, kind of tubes, so, and then you could just add the texture on top. So it was quite a forgiving type of tree to do without any outlines. And then I filled in a sky blue colour between all the trees. So you kind of get the perspective of you're low down in the grass with the fairy, which I thought was quite nice. It was a lot more immersive than just continuing the grass back. I really love this shade of blue. It's like my favourite blue. It's the only blue refill I have actually, so if you're interested, this is BOO. And I only have ciaos. I don't have any sketches because they're more expensive, and I'd rather get more colours than have a bigger pen. Especially because I have small hands, so I've never held a sketch, but I can't imagine it would be very comfortable because the ciaos are quite big as it is, and the sketches are even bigger. So now I'm just colouring the actual harebells themselves. It was a little bit difficult because I was trying to like figure out lighting and shading, and then there's quite a bit of texture on a harebell that you don't really see, so I was trying to figure out how to put that in or whether to not put it in at all. And also this is pretty small, so it's quite difficult to get the level of detail I wanted with a big brush nib. But I think I got the lighting quite nice in the end, just a nice little subtle glow at the edges, just to make them pop a bit more, stand out as the focal point. I'm just colouring in the fairy herself. I used similar colours to the harebell, but not quite the same colours. I used the lighter end of the range I used for the harebell, so that it doesn't stand out too much, but it still matches. And then I did a really nice red colour for her hair, because I thought that was a lovely contrast to the rest of the piece. I was considering quite a lot of hair colours for her, and decided that the contrast was quite nice. And there I realised that I hadn't coloured in the inside of her wing, because they're transparent, and one of the wings hadn't been coloured, so there we go. I use a white pencil to add a not opaque, transparent layer of white so that you can see that the wings aren't they're not completely opaque, they're transparent. And then I added some details of like little purple veins to match with the harebell. So thank you for watching, I hope you like the piece, and if you do, please give me a like and subscribe to see more, because I'm going to definitely post another one of these, maybe more, I don't know. We'll see, but thank you for watching.